Hello, my name is Mary Lesher, and I'm a public program coordinator for the Smithsonian American Art Museum's Renwick Gallery. Today I'm going to show you how to make beaded bow garland. For this craft, you will need craft wire, wire cutters, pliers, and 8mm size beads in a variety of colors. To get started, you need a 2-foot long strand of craft wire, and you're going to string 15 beads onto that wire. Once you have that done, fold it in half and keep all of your beads on one side of that wire. I'm now going to take this portion that has the beads on it and thread it through my other bow so that I can attach them. If this is your first step, you're just threading it all by itself and you'll add extra bows later. Then I'm going to feed this wire through the last bead and pull tight to create one of the loops, which will interlock with my other bows. And now I'm going to create a matching loop on the other side by stringing 14 beads onto my craft wire. Now that I've added my beads, I'm going to do the same motion again and feed this wire through the center bead and then pull it tight to create my loop. Okay. So that's the first step, is to make the loops. The next step that you're going to do is finish off the tails. So I'm going to show you how to do that on this bow here. So just attaching these two together and stringing the wire through. This is definitely a craft that can be a little putsy. It just takes some time to get everything in the right spot. You just have to be diligent and everything will work out. Okay. So now I have my bow almost all the way done, and I've added 10 beads onto the tail here. This is the tricky part. To finish this off, I'm going to loop my thread or my wire here back through the hole on the last bead and pull down so that I make a small loop like this. And now I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side, making another loop and threading the wire through the center one more time. Once I have that wire through, I'm using a pair of pliers to help me cinch things around. And the key to getting this to sit nice and tight up against the other beads is that I'm going to pull on the first loop, pull on the bottom, which will tuck my bead right up close to the rest of the beads. And now I'm going to hold on to the bead and move all of this extra wire up to the top of the bead. You can do the same thing on the other side. Hold on to the bead and pull the wire down. Now that I have all of that excess wire pulled, I'm going to move this loop up to the top again, which makes it much easier for me to then pull that nice and tight and taut around my bead. Now we just have to trim this wire, and that thread is complete and won't fall off. And we're going to do that one more time. Okay, now that my final bead is loaded on here, taking this wire, looping it around and through the center hole on the last bead, pulling it tight but leaving a little loop of wire so that I have something to work with. Doing the same thing on the other side of the bead and pulling that wire through. And that's how we're going to close this off so that these beads don't go flying. Now that I have that threaded through, I'm going to scoot this bead up to be right next to everything else by pulling down on my first loop and then moving all of that excess wire up towards the top of the bead. Doing the same thing on the other side by pulling the bottom of the loop, which gets me all of that excess wire from the other side, and then moving it up to the top and pulling the tail through so that the wire lays nice and tight next to my bead. Then I just trim, and the bow is good to go. Once you have everything completed, you want to spend some time fluffing all of your beads up so everything looks the way that you want. And this is the completed craft. Today I showed you how to make beaded bow garland, and I hope we'll see you at Handi-hour in the future. Thank you.